History is going to ultimately unfold in a way that will make the world a more just place for everyone.
To stand for what I know is true, and that is equality and justice for all, period.
Hello, women in the world. How are you guys? This is an amazing thing. This is like a Tuesday for you, but I mean, this is an amazing thing to be in front of all these amazing women.
It's not Tuesday, is it?
No, I know.
Thank
It's
God.
the expression.
Thank
Here,
God
this is
it's
how
not
this
Tuesday.
entire conversation is going to go. So, I have the distinct pleasure. We are going to talk about not just amazing women in the world, but 5 amazing women in the world right now that are going to be honored with at the DVF Awards this evening. Let me first, before I bring on the woman we all want to talk to. Let me first tell you about the DVF Awards. So the DVF Awards, oh, I'm Kate Bolduan, by the way, sorry.
We all know.
Anyway, Diane said that, it's made my entire day. The DVF Awards, they were launched in 2010 by the one and only Diane von Furstenberg. Of course, along with the Diller von Furstenberg Foundation, and it's to recognize women supporting women, amazing women doing amazing things. You're going to hear about these women, and you're going to think of words are going to come to mind like fierce and fearless and inspiring. These 5 extraordinary women that have been chosen this year, they're getting the recognition they deserve, but they're also getting money. They're getting a $50,000 grant for their nonprofits to further their fight and their work. So it is with my pleasure, another round of applause, my friends, to the legendary fashion innovator and philanthropist, Diane von Furstenberg, the woman behind it all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who is kicking a cough that she's had for 6 weeks. So collectively, we're going to send her our energy and our healthy thoughts to get it right. Before we talk about these women, Diane, this does mark the 10th anniversary for the awards.
And by the way, it's the 10th anniversary of this extraordinary conference. So I think we should all applaud Tina for making it happen.
Why is it with your awards, why is it so important to you to celebrate and honor very specifically women who are helping women in such a big way?
But it's, you know, now it's 10 years, and therefore, looking back, we honored 51 women. And I went through the list, and all these women are so incredible. They are so incredible. And they all have, you know, had shown the strength to fight, the courage to survive, and the leadership to inspire. And what they all have in common is character. Because we all know character is the only thing that we have total control of. We can lose your health, your wealth, your money, your children. You can lose everything, including your freedom. But you never lose your character.
So let's talk about the awards. So the Lifetime Leadership Award this year is going to Anita Hill, and I think Fierce and Fearless.
It's so appropriate this
right,
year.
I was saying. Because when you think of Anita Hill, Fierce and Fearless immediately come to mind from the very moment that she stood up in front of an all-male committee back in 1990.
Male white.
Yeah, raising her hand, raising her voice to speak her truth in front of all of them. What do you admire about Anita?
Definitely her courage. She looked at all these white men straight in the eyes in front of the cameras, in front of the Congress, and she had to talk about penis and pubic hair, and she did not flinch. So her courage is just amazing and so inspirational. And then when I finally met her, she has an incredible sense of humor.
She kind of has to be for everything that she's dealt with.
And she's really taken on, the sexual harassment, gender equality, and everything.
So you said inspiring, and Anita Hill is inspiring, but this year's Inspiration Award is going to Katy Perry, and immediately everyone knows Katy Perry, of course, as a pop icon, but Katy is doing a lot outside of music as well.
She does. And also because I give 5 awards a year, and part of it is to give them a voice and to give them some money, but also exposure. Mm-hmm. So the Inspiration Award goes to somebody who hopefully is a little well-known, because that gets exposure for everybody else. Mm-hmm. So we've had, Gabby Guilford and Alicia Keys. So this year is Katy Perry, and what is remarkable about Katy is that she really uses her voice, and she really opens her heart. And she's actually very vulnerable, and she opens her heart. She is a Goodwill ambassador to the UN, to the UNICEF, and she does a lot for children and LGBTQ community.
And her vulnerability is her strength, and how she does
Her vulnerability is her strength. She doesn't even know it. I tell her, but she really, she cries, if she opens her heart, she cries. She has a beautiful heart.
One thing I'm learning really quickly is Diane collects amazing people, and you should have seen it backstage. You're an inspiring person as well. You are a mentor to so many. It's really amazing. I want to get to these other amazing women though as well. Nadia Murad is getting one of this year's international awards. Nadia's story is amazing as it is tragic. She is a survivor. She was kidnapped in 2014 by ISIS from her home in Iraq.
Yazidi.
Mm-hmm. She was held for 3 months. She lost 6 of her brothers. She lost her mother. She survived. She was eventually able to escape her captors.
She was sold a few times.
Yeah. And after all of that, she's now a leading advocate against genocide and sexual violence. She's won a Nobel Peace Prize, but you wonder, she's lucky to be alive. Where does she find it the strength to do this work and support other people?
That's the thing, is that she survived, and like when you survive in those circumstances, you feel also sometimes guilty about having survived, and therefore you feel an obligation and a duty to help it. And I know that when we read these tragic things, we just say, oh my God, it's so big, it's so dark, there's nothing you can do. But the truth is that even if you save one life only, you save a dynasty behind it. And we should all remember that. Because otherwise you read the paper, it's too heavy, you turn the page. But if you help one person, you won't turn the page again.
The other woman who's being honored with the international award is Hadeel Mustafa Anabtawe. She's an entrepreneur from Jordan. She is using her expertise and her training to try to lift up girls and really get them excited, quite frankly, around the world about STEM subjects. Of course, science, technology, engineering, and math. This is such important work when you talk about the next generation.
Education is, you educate a woman, you make a nation, and...
That's awesome, yeah.
So she, education is everything, everything.
And she's doing some really amazing stuff, really forward-thinking stuff with her work, and she's awesome. Susan Burton is receiving the People's Voice Award this year, and she had a tragedy in her life. She lost her son. And then she fell into a 20-year cycle of drugs and alcohol and incarceration. And then she was finally able to break that cycle, which is amazing in and of itself because it doesn't happen.
Because once you go down the spiral, you know, that's why if you're giving a chance, then, and if you take the chance, then you understood, oh my God, being given that chance is so important. And so she turned that chance into a chance for many.
For many, and through her nonprofit, it's called A New Way of Life. She's providing housing and legal advice and many other services to people that are struggling to rebuild their life after incarceration. And me personally, I know that that is a really important issue because it hits close to home for me as well. I think kind of overall, you kind of hit on it, Diane, but you've done so much in your work life and fashion and philanthropy, and in the 10 years as you look back at all these women, you talked about character as kind of the common thread. Is that what connects it all together? When you look at these 10 years that you've been doing the awards,
yes.
What's the glue, other than it being driven by you?
The line is the character, and women, you know, again, we cannot, now is the time, the 21st century is the century of women, and if we want to save humanity, we need every woman to get up and act.
Diane von Furstenberg, everyone.